In this lesson, I will show you how to start in drawing life portraits with oil paints. I did not have much time to prepare everything. The chance to draw appeared quite suddenly. The person I wanted to draw had some free time. It was only a couple of hours, so I did not have time to prepare in advance. But thanks to this, I gained good experience in accelerated work. Of course, it would have been much harder if everything had happened not in my workshop. On my territory, I knew exactly where what is, and roughly understood what needed to be done. I used the standard limited palette: titanium white, cadmium yellow, red light, cobalt blue, and burnt sienna. And I also add black and white acrylic paint to the palette, for what I will tell you a little later. Since oil paints are rarely ready to work directly from a tube, you need to dilute them with a small amount of linseed oil. A quick tip: you can use regular edible linseed oil instead of a special one sold at art stores. It is much cheaper, and over all the years of drawing I did not notice any difference. Since I had to paint on an unprepared wooden surface, I decided to create a foundation using quick drying acrylic paints. At this point, the model does not have to sit in front of you. It is enough for you to remember the approximate outlines. This stage is convenient to decide your composition and mark the location of the dark and light areas of the picture. In the process, be nice, talk more, and make jokes. You can turn on the music. This will relax the person and leave a pleasant impression of this event. The more pleasant a person spends time, the more likely he is to recommend you to his friends, which means he will add potential customers to you. Look for signs of discomfort in the model. Say that she can take a break at any time, stretch out, go to the toilet, or have something to eat. Since we draw only the head, the model has the opportunity to take any pose that is comfortable for her, and in general can move relatively freely. Just warn when you need her to sit still. At this point, I lay down the exaggerated colors and rough contours of facial features. If I know that the hair is brown, I draw it brown, even though it appears black. If I know that there should be a blush in her cheeks, I brightly draw a blush. In the process, you can take several photographs of the model in order to have support during further work on the painting. This will help reduce the time when model needs to sit still. Get up often and move away from your sketch so that you can see from afar what is bothering you in the big picture rather than focusing on small details. Do not worry if facial features seem to float. In this stage, the main thing is to feel the personality of the model and understand what emotions you want to portray. After a while, you will start to feel that you are near the end of the session. At this moment, it will begin to seem to you that with every new stroke you just spoil everything. So you need to stop. Many of my colleagues portrait painters do not allow a person to look at their portrait until it is completed. But I think that is a lot of fun. Just remember that most likely a person will not like how he looks at an intermediate stage of work. But it is very important to get a backlash and find out exactly how the person wants to be depicted in a portrait. This will help you understand what details to pay more attention to. After your sketch dries out enough, you can begin to correct errors and work on details. Clean a fresh palette of the necessary colors again and feel free to start correcting what you think is in the wrong place. For example, wide eyes. At first it will seem to you that you are only spoiling it. But don't worry, only the end result is important. And how do you come to him is a path filled with errors and corrections. The main thing is not to think too much and continue to work. And I assure you that something will come out of it. It is very important to correctly position the middle of the pupils in relation to the nose and the borders of the face. After that, pay attention to the profile. Correct if necessary the size of the cheekbones, cheeks, and chin. If your model has hair on the head, then with their help you can easily change the size of the forehead and head volume. You can give to the face any emotion you want. For example, I clearly remembered the laugh of the model, and I decided to make the picture fun. Of course, it is very difficult to draw a laughing person in life, because he will not be able to keep a smile for a long time, and the smile will be artificial. But if you remember the location of the facial wrinkles of the model and the thickness of lips, the similarity will definitely remain, even if you fantasize everything else. Now I'm worried not so much about color, but about how to even out and put in order all facial features. After the basic face structure will satisfy you, you need to build shadows from the protruding shapes. Shadows are very important, because they instantly create the illusion of a three-dimensional image. You can gradually add color and smaller characteristics to the skin, such as a dimple above the lip, wrinkles, and folds of the eyelids. Do not get involved in smoothing out irregularities in the paint. The image should still feel drawn and have your personality in strokes. Another important point: in addition to exaggerating the saturation of some colors, you can increase or decrease certain facial features. Remember how I said to watch the first reaction of the model when looking at your sketch. If she didn't like her nose, then you can reduce it. Reduce cheeks and wrinkles. It is always helpful to slightly enlarge the eyes, especially for female faces. It rejuvenates them. Of course, if you go too far, you get a caricature. But if you just tweak a little here and there, then the face will turn out to be more expressive. This is the power that you have when working with paints, and what distinguishes a painting from a photo. Do not make the whites of the eyes pure white, because in fact they are not white, although they seem to be so. They are filled with blood vessels and have fallen shadows on them from the upper eyelid and eyelashes. In a shade they will be grey, and in the light a little pinkish. Only in certain areas you can add bright white layer, where, in your opinion, the wet surface of the eye will reflect the light falling on it. Glare can also be added to lips, teeth, and the tip of the nose. Just a little, so that the skin on it does not seem oily. The face is ready. Now clean the color for our background. Choose a color that, in your opinion, will empathize the mood and features of the face. I choose sky blue to accentuate eye color, and a small drop of yellow to create a light, cheerful atmosphere. And with that mix, just randomly paint over. If you make a mistake, do not be afraid. While the paint is wet, you can always wipe off any excess paint and fix the mess. Do not be afraid to impose the background color onto the borders of the hairstyle shape, because we will draw it last. Mixing colors around the edge of the head will help create a sense of detail and volume, so we don't have to draw every hair. When you start to draw hair, the main thing is not to be shy and draw large bundles and blocks with a big brush. The bolder you do it, the more realistic they will look. Do not forget to wipe the brush after each stroke so that you do not bring in the background color inside the hairstyle. The picture is ready. Do not forget to sign it, and we will move on to the final part, the design of the frame. The final part is no longer relevant to the drawing process, but I believe that for any artist it will be useful to know how to bring your picture into a presentable form with your own hands. Of course, you can take the picture to the framing workshop, and professionals will do it for the money. Or you can give the customers a canvas and let them decide what to do. It's up to you. Personally, I like to finish everything myself. Moreover, in modern construction stores, they sell everything you may need for such handiwork. In the future, it is more profitable. And it's also convenient, because you can create for your picture a frame of any shapes that you wish. For example, in my case, I decided to make the frame oval. For this, a wooden countertop is suitable. Using a stencil cut out of paper, we draw the desired contour. You will need a thread saw or a jigsaw, and a drill to make a small hole for threading the saw blade. This is very simple. It is enough to carefully follow the line drawn by you. In the beginning, do not try to make the frame look expensive. If you make it for yourself or as a gift for a family member, it will be even better if it looks handmade, with bumps and spots. Just round the corners with the rasp and sand over the surface. Now we mark the borders of the frame on the picture and cut off the excess. There are different ways to fix the frame: glue, stapler, nails. I use screws to be able to easily replace the frame if necessary. After you mark the places for the screws, you need to drill small holes so that when the screws are in, the tree does not crack. The final stage: coating the painting with the waterproof varnish so that the painting can be easily cleaned of dirt and grease and the colors appear more vibrant. It remains only to attach a loop and your work is completed. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy painting your portrait.